Life in a world that keeps changing. Think that it's progress you're making. Copy and paste pretty faces all the time. Pictures so perfect we play.
Hello wonderful people, welcome back again to Anointed Lady TV, the home of news and politics. And we drop news every day, and we also react to every videos that comes our way. If it is your first time in this channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you are returning subscribers, we appreciate you for your massive support, and we say may God richly bless you all for supporting this channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please kindly smash on the subscribe button, put on the bell so you get to know anytime we drop a new video. I have a video to present to you this very moment, and I will be watching that video with you. And after watching, let's drop our opinion constructively at the comment section, like our videos, and also share our videos if possible. Bye for now.
I was actually harassed yesterday and kidnapped basically by the men of the Nigerian police here in Abuja. This car actually just double crossed us with so much speed, and they jumped out with guns. Immediately they jumped out, and immediately they said, "Hey, you, calm down." That was me. So I came down. They told my brother, "Calm down, who are you?" They started asking like a lot of questions. "Who are you? What do you do?" and all of that. Come. Before I know what happened, they paid off the Bolts guy, and they told us to get into their car. There were 5. They were all fully equipped, you know, with guns and like tasers. So they said, "You are members of IPOB." I said, "No, we are not. This is my younger brother, and I came to Abuja." He said, "When did you come to Abuja?" I said, "I came to Abuja last week." "Why did you come to Abuja?" I said, "I came to spend the holiday here." And they basically just, you know, pushed us into the car and told us told me to lap my brother, or my brother to lap me. It was very uncomfortable because I'm very claustrophobic. They got our phones. They told us to bring out everything, our phones, our ATM cards. They took my Apple Watch. They took my AirPods. They took everything that my brother had on him, everything I had, even like the small change, like 200, 500. They took everything from me, and they started asking me questions. "What do you do for it?" I said, "I'm a writer." They said, "What do you mean by you're a writer?" "I'm a social media influencer." They said, "Oh, forget that thing. You think we don't know that scope? You are into Yahoo. That's exhibit 1. Exhibit 2, you are into, you are actually a member of the IPOB." And I'm like, "I'm not a member of the IPOB. I'm not into Yahoo. You can check my phone." They said they were actually taking me to the police station. I said, "Okay, fine. Can I please call my lawyer and my manager?" They said no. They already took our phones. They said no. They were really aggressive, and they threatened to tase us. They actually turned on the taser. One of them actually got really furious, and they were like, "Let's handcuff these guys. Let's just handcuff them." And they actually handcuffed us. The next thing they said, push them into the boot. And they pushed us into the boot, and we were just there. Thankfully, I was with my meds. One of them said, "No, you're not going to take the medication. You want to take suicide pills, right? But we'll still take your dead body to the government," you know. That was what he said. The one in front, who was actually quote unquote the superior, put a call across and said, "Yes, we've actually caught 2 boys. We are bringing them now to the station, blah blah blah." I don't know if it was a real call or if it was a fake call, but I know I had that conversation. Whenever he says you're a Yahoo boy, I'm like, I am not a Yahoo boy. And he would turn on the taser and he would say stuff like, "We're going to kill you here, nothing will happen. We'll deal with you." And he said something that I need to mention here. He said, "We work for the IG of the police." So it's really disturbing to me that there is a group of policemen who go around extorting, kidnapping, and basically harassing young people in the name of the IG of the police. They sounded so sure. They said nothing will happen. They said, "We don't fear anybody. No matter what happens, you can trace us. Nothing is going to happen." They bragged about that. They were like 1.5 million naira. That was what we're going to pay. I said that I don't have 1.5 million naira. And they drove really far into the outskirts of Abuja. We drove for over 2 hours, or they drove for over 2 hours. I told them, "Please, like, what can I do? Like, I really need to go, but I am not a Yahoo guy." And they said, "Oh, that we are going to give them 600K, I'll be 500K. And I'm like, 500K? Literally, what's in that account is 617,000 naira. So when I turned on my phone, it turned off because I think the car charger wasn't enough to power the phone well. So it turned off, and they were like, what did I do to the phone? That I'm trying to track them, that nobody can track them, that do I know who they are? They repeated again that they work for the IG of the police. That happened, and I'm like, okay, fine. And I gave them okay, they were ready with my ATM. They asked for the pin for my ATM. They asked my brother too, how much does he has? He was like, oh, he has only 40-something thousand. So now this was what they did. The one who was actually just by at the back seat by my right, he wore a black shirt on which he actually wore like the police vest. Yeah, he took off the vest, dropped the guns and everything, and took the and took the ATM card. The next thing was I saw like a debit alert because the phone later came on, so I saw a debit alert. I think he used the POS. Well, he actually used the POS. I didn't see the POS, but I know he strolled down to somewhere and he withdrew 202,000 naira. So while on that, I transferred the remaining 300k. And I noticed they didn't pick him up immediately. They drove around. I don't know where they went to Sha, and they met him there. So basically, I feel like when I made the transfer, he withdrew 202k there, went somewhere else, withdrew 100k, went somewhere else, withdrew, basically. So, and he was with a bag. I think he actually had the money there in the bag. And when they were done withdrawing all of the money, driving around with our heads down, even if I was trying to peep and everything, I remember I saw Gudu at some point, by the way. They came into the car, they went to eat. I was now saying, okay, fine, please, I need to go to the house. They were like, okay, fine, don't worry, we are going to drop you off in the next 20 minutes. And they drove from the outskirts really far where they took us to, and they drove into town again. And when they drove into town, they asked us, where do you guys stay again? So I told them where we actually stay. And I noticed that they were very, very careful of how they were going to drop us off, because each time they tried to park and they saw that another car was in close range, really close range, they will move forward again. They will move forward. And they dropped us on one road like that. I really don't know the name of the road. And when they dropped us there, the first thing they said was, cover your head. We covered our heads, and they actually unlocked the handcuffs. And then my brother had a small bag, a small handbag. They put our phones inside there, our ATM cards inside there, and they handed it to us while we were in the booth. So immediately they were like, they're just going to open the booth and we're just going to go out. So they opened the booth and they told us to go out. Now they also gave me back my watch, by the way. My AirPods, I was about to ask him how about my AirPods, and they just zoomed off. So basically they took my AirPods and they took my brother's earbuds too, and that was all. Coming to the house, I started thinking about everything, and when I made the post that I made that went viral, I saw a lot of people who actually complained or talked about the fact that many Bolt drivers actually are complicit in these acts. They literally tell, because when I think about everything, it was well planned. We weren't the only people on that road. It was well planned. It seemed as though they had monitored us from Kilimanjaro, where we actually ate, that's in Wuse, to Ruby Center, and it also seemed as though the Uber driver was actually complicit. Now this is actually an assumption, because fine, the Uber driver never called us to say, are you guys fine? And that is actually very fishy to me. Never called, never said what happened. I was the one who called him. He said, no, I don't know anything about it though. I don't know. They just paid me off for blah, blah, blah. They just gave me my 300 naira. I said, okay, fine, no problem. When I actually made the post, a lot of people actually told me or commented that it is something that happens in Abuja over time. Do I have information about these policemen? I don't have information. Remember, I said that they weren't actually on their full police uniform. They were just wearing the vest. That's number one. Number two, my brother actually saw part of the plate number. Yeah, he saw part of the plate number, and again, it was actually Toyota Matrix or Matrix. I don't know how that is actually pronounced, but it was actually Toyota car. And then I have the proof of the withdrawals actually that were made from my account. It was actually a POS withdrawal. They were wise enough not to use the ATM because obviously the CCTV there was going to, you know, capture their faces, and I could actually ask for the pictures or the videos of who actually used my POS. Oh, sorry, my ATM card. Like, I'm very sure that this wasn't just a one-off thing. I'm sure that this is something that they do. And I have to mention, they said something to us. They said, if you guys pay us, if you guys give us this money, we can easily go and look for another 2 people and replace you people. And that was very disturbing to me, to show the corruption that has eaten so deep into the police system, where a policeman can actually tell you up front that you will give him money and he will literally find 2 other people to replace you. That's to tell you that there are people who are in cells who are literally innocent, and these criminals can just pay them off maybe $1 million or 2 or even less, and they just look for 2 people, innocent people, to replace people with. They made these statements, and I was very, very observant and very finicky to listen to everything they were saying, because everything they were saying was actually cueing me to the fact that to the kind of things that they do. Ever since I made the post and it went viral, a lot of people have gotten across to me, a lot of media houses have gotten across to me, a lot of the police, the Abuja command, they have actually gotten across to me. It's good that they go across to me, yeah. I feel like it's the fact that I have some sense of social status, but like, how about the ordinary man? How about people who do not have social media followings? How about people who are just ordinary people, everyday people? I want to believe that this has happened to a lot of people and their stories were never told. How about people like that? It's not about saving me because I'm Solomon Buchi. It's about saving, it's about the whole structure where even the least person would be sure of safety and security in the country. A couple months ago, last year, we were on the streets. They killed us. They killed a lot of people. There was a massacre. They lied that there was no massacre. All because we wanted them to trash the whole SAS, you know, the SAS department, which was actually highly notorious for criminal activities. But as we can see, even if they had demolished or they have actually disbanded SAS, there is still high level of corruption and criminal activities happening in the police department. Extortion. That was basically kidnapping. That was kidnapping, because if it was actually lawful arrest, then they would have actually let me call my lawyer. They would have actually let me call my manager, yeah? They asked me for my ID card. I said, well, I'm not with my ID card here. Let's go to my house. Let me get the ID card. They said no. And again, I have to pinpoint that they bragged on the fact that they work for the IG of the police. And if the IG of the police is going to say that they don't work for them or they don't work for him, then I expect the IG of the police to actually fish these men out. I've gotten calls that the Commissioner of Police has heard about the story and is actually investigating, and actually set up a team for investigating the whole case. And while